Hello everyone, and welcome to Lady Suki's anime music video tutorial. As a small warning, I've never made a tutorial before, but I promise I'll do my best. Today I'll be showing you how to make an AMV with the VideoPad video editor. It's a nice editor with a simple interface, and it has several advantages over the Windows Movie Maker, such as more transitions and effects that can be customized and previewed, more specific editing capabilities for text, video, and music, and it's also able to import and export more video and music formats. Now, let's get to the first part of the tutorial, which would be how to make an AMV. An anime music video is made by gathering and/or making your own anime clips, stringing them together in whatever sequence you like, adding music, and perhaps adding effects, transitions, and credits. So, step 1, acquiring the anime clips. There are two big ways to do this. One is to go online and find ready-made clips. If you have those, you can simply click the Add Media button right here. Go to wherever your clips are stored, open them up, and any clips you open will be added to your files area like so. Just highlight it, click the little green arrow, and it'll be added to the storyboard. The other, more specific way to acquire clips is to make your own. On that note, the next thing I'll be teaching you is how to cut footage from larger videos, thus making your own clip. This will also come in handy for ready-made clips in that it'll teach you how to trim and edit them. So, even when making your own clip, you'll be using the Add Media button here to open a video from which you'll cut your footage. The video will be added to the Files menu like always, highlight it, and it'll be placed on the left side player ready to be cut. Now, first things first, select where you want your clip to begin. Click that beginning point with the cursor. Now click the red flag button, and that will set your end point. Now decide where you want your clip to end. Click that ending point with your cursor, and then click the blue flag button to select your out point. Now your newly cut clip is ready to add to the storyboard. Before adding it though, I'll point out one handy feature, and that is the previous frame and next frame buttons. This is great for when you want to be very exact about where your clips begin and end. All you have to do is click it, and it'll either rewind a frame or go forward a frame, just like the button's name suggests. Now, if you decide that you want to change your in and out points, all you have to do is repeat the process of selecting where you want your clips to begin and end with the cursor, and click the respective flag button. Now your clip's ready to add to the storyboard with the green arrow. Voila! Okay, so here we have our clip. The example I'm using has no actual sound, but most things will, and even without sound, you'll still have this sound layer here. Since with an AMV you're going to want to have music in the background, you're going to want to get rid of this sound layer. So in order to do that, all you have to do is right-click on it and select the Unlink Sound Clips option. After that, right-click on the sound again and click Remove Selected Audio. Now I'll note real quick that if you click Remove Selected Audio when both the video portion and the sound portion of your clip are highlighted, this happens. But don't freak out if you messed up. All you have to do is go to the Edit menu and hit the Undo button. Now then, unhighlight both of them by clicking away. Now right-click on the sound layer, go to Remove Selected Audio, and that will get rid of any sound from the clip whatsoever. Now that you've made some progress by either adding ready-made clips or cutting your own custom clip, it's a good idea to save that progress. There are two ways to do this. The first way is by saving this as a VideoPad project file. In order to do that, simply go up to File, Save Project File or Save Project File As, and then a standard save prompt will come up. Simply type in a name for your project, click Save, and now your project will be ready for editing again when you want to reopen VideoPad. In order to reopen a project, all you have to do is go to File and Open Project. And that's all there is to it. You can also save the clips you make as individual movie files. I find this best when making lots of custom clips for an AMV project. Not only that, but when you're finished with your AMV project, you'll be saving that as a movie file too. So now I'll show you how to do that. To get to the Save Movie settings, simply go to File, Save Movie, or you can click the Save Movie shortcut button at the top. Now by default, VideoPad will start scanning for available drives, but this isn't needed, so you can click Cancel. And here you'll see the plethora of save options to choose from. Now first off, you'll be saving this as computer data, so I'm not going to really go into all this stuff up here, and instead we'll just go down this one list and give a short explanation of what everything is. So first you have your save destination. This is where on the computer your file will be saved and what the title will be. You can either manually change things by typing stuff in this line here, or you can click the Browse button, and that'll bring up a more visual type save prompt. Next, the preset option is for when you want to export your movie for a specific purpose, such as uploading it to YouTube, playing it on a game console, etc. Selecting one of the options from this drop-down menu will adjust the resolution and frame rate, and sometimes the file format to coincide with the preset you chose. You may also notice this Detect button here next to the preset option. Clicking this will automatically detect the resolution and frame rate of your source files. Then, after clicking the OK button, it'll fill those fields in accordingly. Next, we have the file format. I tend to use .avi. It has a good video quality, file size, and is accepted by every streaming site I've come across. However, you can feel free to use any of the file formats in this menu. I'll make a quick note that the premium version of VideoPad has more formats to choose from. Now, as a quick side note, you may notice these What's This links next to these three options. This will bring up a web page that will give a short explanation of what these options do. Next is the resolution or the measurements of your video. Again, if you want to export the video for a specific reason, you can use this drop-down menu and change things accordingly. However, I will note that if you make the video resolution much smaller than the source clips, you may see a significant drop in quality, and if you make it much bigger, you may see a black border around the video. The last drop-down menu we have is the frame rate. The frame rate basically determines the smoothness of your video playback. Again, we'll have a drop-down menu that will let you change the frame rate for specific purposes. If you find your video playback isn't smooth enough, feel free to tweak this, or again, if you are going to use it for a specific purpose, then by all means tweak it. However, I find it's best to just leave the frame rate the same as your source clip. Lastly, we have the encoder options. Clicking this button will bring up the encoding options for whatever file format you've chosen. So, this brings up the AVI encoding options. Now with AVI, I find that just using the H.264 native and the MP3 native gives me the best results. However, if you know what you're doing with video encoding, then by all means you can tweak this, or if you just feel like experimenting and trying to get a better file size or video quality, then you can experiment with them. You'll also notice the visual compression settings here. These depend on what codecs and what players you have installed on your computer, so I'm not going to really get into this because everybody's is going to be way too different. So, after you're done with all that, you can simply click the OK button, and that'll start to save your movie. This may take a while depending on how big your movie is, how long it is, and all the other options that you set. And the movie is done. Ta-da! Okay, so now that you know how to make and add clips, the next step in the AMV making process is stringing those clips together in the sequence you want. So, add the clips you're going to use for the project. And they'll show up on the Files area. Note that I've only added a few for sake of saving time. So, like before, you're going to highlight the clip, use the green arrow, and it'll appear down on the storyboard. Now you'll see that since you're adding more than one clip, a prompt will come up asking you where exactly you want the clip. Assuming you're adding them in the sequence you want, you can simply use the End of Timeline option. Keep repeating this process until all the clips are on the storyboard. Now, if you decide later on that you want your clips to be in a different sequence, all you have to do is highlight the clip, hold your left mouse button over it, and drag it to wherever you want its new place to be, like so. Now, in order to double check that your clips are in the sequence you want them, you can simply use this player here on the right side to play all the clips in the storyboard starting from where this red seeker bar is here. So, naturally, you should put that at the beginning, like so. Now, let's say you have your clips together in the sequence you want. You can move right along. Now I'll show you how to add various effects and transitions. This is completely optional, of course, but I find it can add a nice touch to the AMV if done properly. So, first we'll start off with the effects. In order to add an effect to a clip, simply highlight the clip on the storyboard and click the Effects tab here on the top left. Here you'll see a wide range of effects to choose from. In order to add the effect, simply click on it, and that'll automatically add it to your clip. Some effects, like this brightness effect here, will have a drop-down menu where you can tweak various aspects of the effect. If you decide later on, however, that you don't want the effect on your clip, simply click this X, and that'll get rid of it. One effect I find particularly useful is the speed effect. With this, you can either speed up your video by increasing the speed percentage, or slow down your video by decreasing the speed percentage. You can also play your clip backwards if you like. Decreasing the speed percentage is great for if you want to extend a clip that happens to be really short, or if you just want to go for a cool slow motion type of effect. Now, like before, you can preview whatever you've done in this right side player here, starting from wherever you have your red seeker bar. You may also notice this green bar loading on the top of your clip. This is the effect loading onto your clip, and until it's done loading, you won't be able to preview the clip in its entirety with the effect added. However, it shouldn't take long depending on how many effects you've added to your clip. And as you can see, it's already done. And now you can view the effect of your clip. Ta-da! Next up, I'll show you the transitions. Transitions control how one clip transitions to another clip. Like before, simply highlight the clip you want to add a transition to, and click the Transitions tab at the top left. Also, you can click this button here at the end of your clip, and that'll take you to the same place. Here you'll have a wide variety of transitions to choose from. Simply pick the transition you like. Then you can go down to the Duration in Seconds option here. Simply tweak that with the arrows, or highlight it and type in your number manually, and that'll tweak how long you want your transition to last in seconds. When you think you have a number you like, click Apply, and that'll apply your transition to your clip. In order to preview your transition, you can use the right side player as always. For sake of ease, I recommend just placing your red seeker toward the end of your clip and playing it that way. And there you'll see your transition in action. If you decide later you don't like your transition, you can simply click the No Transition button and click Apply, and that'll get rid of it. Effects and transitions should be regularly previewed on the right side player to make sure you've gotten everything you wanted. And now we can move on. Now that we have the video aspect of the AMV taken care of, it's time for the music aspect. After all, an anime music video wouldn't be anywhere without it. Adding a song is just like adding a video clip. You simply use the Add Media button, open up the song you're going to use, and it'll be added to the Files menu where you can highlight it and click the green arrow to add it to the storyboard. If for some reason you find you need to move your audio, you can simply left click, hold the button down, and drag it along like so. This will also let you drag it down to other soundtrack lines, like so. And I'll cover the soundtrack line thing in just a second. You can edit various aspects of the audio by right-clicking on it. First, I'll cover the Move to Track option, just like I promised I would. The multiple soundtrack lines are for if you're going to play multiple sounds or songs at the same time. This will let you move your audio to a different soundtrack line or create a new soundtrack line. Next, we have the Fade In and Fade Out points. This will let you create a fade point for your song. Simply click on one of these options, and this will bring up a prompt asking how long you want your fade in or fade out point to last in seconds. When you have a number you like, click the OK button, and it'll be added to the song. Next, the Remove All Fade Points option is for if you decide you don't want any fade points. Pretty self-explanatory, I know. Next, if you find your clip is playing too low or too high, you can adjust the volume with the Adjust Clip Volume option. In order to adjust the volume, simply left-click on this little bar here, hold the mouse button down, and drag it like so. You can also mute the clip if you need to. As a last interesting side note, you can edit in and out points for your audio clip just like you edit your video clips. This is great if you're only going to use a certain part of the song, or if you want to make doubly sure that your song is in sync with your video, which is very, very important in an AMV. In order to preview everything you've done on the storyboard, you'll be using this right side player. The right side player will also preview your audio and video at the same time. So, as I said, it'll preview everything. And that should just about cover the audio aspects. Hang in there, we're almost done. Well then, assuming your video and audio are now correlated how you want, your AMV is pretty much done. However, I know some people will want to add a title to the video and or some credits to make sure they get their well-deserved recognition, and of course to make sure thieves don't just outright steal their work. So now I'll teach you the final step of AMV making, how to make credits. There are a couple ways to make credits. The first way is to make a clip specifically for your credits. You can make a blank clip with the Insert Blank button located up here. You may notice that there is an arrow next to this button. This will let you choose the background color of your clip. You can make it black, white, or a custom color. Clicking the custom color option will present you with a palette from which you can choose your custom color, or you can also click the Define Custom Colors button, and that'll present you with some more color choosing options. Once you pick the color you like, click OK, and then you'll be presented with the standard prompt asking you where you want your new clip. Since credits often happen at the end of things, I'll put it at the end of the timeline. Now it's time to decide how long you want this clip to last, or rather how long you want the credits to be. To do that, highlight the clip in the timeline and adjust the duration in seconds option using either the arrows or manually typing in the time and clicking apply. Alternatively, you can click this little yellow line button down here, which will give you a prompt asking you the exact same thing. Once you've decided how long your credits are going to last, it's time to add the actual credit text. To do this, go to the overlay track here on the left and click this little green plus button to add an overlay. This will let you add a text, image, or video overlay. However, since I'm just telling you how to make credits, I'm only going to cover the text overlay part. In order to make a text overlay, make sure the text bullet is selected, then type some credit text into the box here. Then click OK. Now you'll be presented with a wide variety of options for tweaking your credit text. First, you have the scroll drop-down menu here, which will allow your text to scroll however you specify. Dragging these arrows will allow you to adjust the size of your text and the opacity of your text. You can see the example of these, of course, on the right side player here. This checkbox will let you make your text fade in and out. Below the fading checkbox, you have these arrows which will let you change the positioning of your text. Next to that, you have Adjust Margins button, which will allow for further customization of the text positioning. And to the left of all that, we have your standard text changing stuff, the font drop-down menu, or in this case, the drop-up menu. Pick a name you like. Then we have the bold, italic, and underline part. Here are two buttons that will let you adjust the colors of your text. This button here lets you adjust the base color, and this button lets you adjust the outline color. Lastly, we have this text box here, which will let you edit the text you typed in, add more text, etc. Once you've tweaked all your text options, it's time to decide where you want your text to go within the clip. In order to do that, simply click the overlay down here on the storyboard, click the left mouse button over it, and drag it along to wherever you want it to start. As you may notice, it's just like positioning an audio clip. Once you decide where you want it to begin, now it's time to decide where you want your text to end. You can do this by dragging your mouse to the end of the overlay here on the right side until it turns into this little twin lines with arrows icon. Once that happens, you can left click and drag it like so, until the end of the clip. And that will let you change how long the text is there and where it ends. If you don't want all your text appearing at the same time, all you have to do is repeat the Add Overlay step, and you can have the text appear at different times. If you want your text to end at the same time, however, just drag the ending point to the exact same spot. Make sure that your overlay text does not go over your clip. As in, don't make it last longer than your clip. It should be perfectly synced, just like the audio. Now, if you decide later on you want to edit your overlay text, you can simply highlight it in the storyboard and go back to your text editing options here. As a last tip, if you decide you want to edit your overlay text, but the text you want to edit is covered up in the storyboard, like it is here, you can edit it in the clips area to the left here. However, if the clips area is collapsed, like you see here, all you have to do is click the mouse till it turns into the double lines with arrows icon, hold the left mouse button, drag it upward, and here you'll see your overlay in the clips area. Then just highlight it there, and you can edit it like so. So it's just like editing a video clip. It might be a bit tricky at first, but you'll get the hang of it. The other way to make credits is to add your text overlay into the video itself. I personally think this method should be used carefully so as to maintain the integrity and flow of the AMV. After all, you don't want to ruin a great shot simply because you feel you deserve your credit, right? Adding a text overlay into the existing video is done pretty much the same way. Highlight the clip you want to add your text into, and repeat the same add overlay steps from before. Yes, I know the text is very literal here. Now in this case, your text overlay most likely won't be lasting your entire clip, so you're going to be much more careful about where it begins and ends. Like everything else, using the right side player and the red seeker bar to preview your work is very important to make sure you've gotten everything you wanted before publishing the video. I really can't say it enough that previewing your work in this way is very important. Although hopefully I have said it enough. So yeah, make sure to preview your text overlay with the seeker and the right side player. Okay, so now your text overlay is done, along with everything else. However, I'll also say it one last time that going to File and Save Project File and saving your progress is very important. Especially in this way because you may want to make changes later. So definitely save it as a project file. And now you have a completed AMV. Congratulations! The last step, of course, would be to save the movie with the button or the file menu and input all the stuff you're prompted for, just like I showed you earlier. And again, congratulations on the completed AMV. By the way, I know this looks nothing like a real AMV. A real AMV would be much longer and the video and audio would be perfectly synced with each other. However, this is all just an example I made for the sake of the tutorial, so I ask you to please bear with it. And one last time, congratulations on completing your AMV and completing the tutorial. Thank you for watching the tutorial, and I hope it's helped you.